Hey, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna talk about top 5
best gaming routers for low ping.
Starting at number 5.
ASUS ROG Rapture. Building a proper gaming mesh system involves a lot more than adding gaming QoS features to an existing fast mesh system. ASUS has done a lot to make sure its ROG Rapture GT6 gaming mesh has the speed it needs to keep gaming connections moving without tapping into 6 GHz spectrum or DFS. This AX10000 tri-band mesh system uses newly available spectrum at 5.9 GHz to offer dual 160 MHz bands with relatively little congestion. That's 574 megabits per second at 2.4 GHz. 4,804 megabits per second at 5.2 GHz, and 4,804 megabits per second at 5.9 GHz. That means the mesh backhaul can use a full 160 MHz connection with plenty of speed left over for the rest of your devices. A powerful 1.7 GHz tri-core CPU is able to keep traffic flowing through the mesh with prioritized traffic. Each node has a gaming Ethernet port on the back, so you can place the node right next to your PC or console to use Ethernet with the strong backhaul.
Coming at number 4.
ASUS ROG Rapture. If you can afford it, there's no doubt that the incredibly fast ASUS ROG Rapture GT AXE 16000 will deliver all the speed you could possibly need. Whether you're gaming, streaming, or both, this router has support for ultra-fast networking with dual 10 gigabits per second Ethernet ports and 4 wireless bands. The Wi-Fi speeds break down to 1,148 megabits per second at 2.4 GHz, 4,804 megabits per second at 5 GHz 4,804 megabits per second at 5 GHz 2, and 4,804 megabits per second at 6 GHz at the same time. That means that no matter which bands or Wi-Fi version your device supports, you're getting its top speed on this router. Wi-Fi 6E uses 6 GHz spectrum in addition to 5 GHz and 2.4 GHz spectrums used by older routers. While 6 GHz doesn't offer the same level of coverage as 2.4 GHz or even 5 GHz, its relative newness means that not many devices are using it, so congestion is low. Besides that, Wi-Fi 6E has access to 7 160 MHz bands, so even if all of your neighbors upgrade to Wi-Fi 6E, you can still find an empty channel. Reducing interference is key to consistent speeds on Wi-Fi, and with many of the latest gaming PCs and motherboards supporting Wi-Fi 6E, many people will be able to make use of it right away.
At number 3.
TP-Link AX6600. The TP-Link Archer GX90 has a tri-band AX6600 connection with 2 of the bands set up for general use with the third band dedicated to gaming traffic. It's like having an AX1800 Wi-Fi router for most of the devices in your home with another 4,804 megabits per second available only to your gaming devices. One thing to keep in mind, however, is that this fast gaming band uses DFS spectrum which is shared with some radar systems. As a result, if the router detects a radar signal for even a second, it immediately vacates the spectrum. For most people, this is a non-issue and DFS spectrum offers a large chunk of open spectrum with very little congestion. On the back of the router, there are 5 total Ethernet ports with 3 gigabit ports for LAN, 1 gigabit port for WAN or LAN, and a 2.5 gigabits per second port for WAN or LAN. That means support for internet connection over 1 gigabit per second or the use of a 2.5 gigabits per second device like a newer gaming PC or NAS system. There are also 2 USB ports that can be used for network storage with support for Time Machine backups on Mac.
Number 2 of my list.
MSI Radix AX6600. The MSI Radix AX6600 is one of MSI's first Wi-Fi routers, and while you can definitely tell, it's impressive just how much MSI has managed to get right. This router comes with a tri-band AX6600 connection which breaks down to 574 megabits per second on the 2.4 GHz band, 1201 megabits per second on the lower 5 GHz band and 4804 megabits per second on the higher 5 GHz band. Tri-band routers are great for Wi-Fi gaming in a congested area since you can use the second 5 GHz band exclusively for your most important devices. On the back, there are 4 gigabit Ethernet ports and a single 2.5 gigabits per second port. The faster port can be used for WAN or LAN, so you can either get connected to a multi-gig internet connection, or connect a fast PC or NAS at multi-gig speeds. Keep in mind that there's only one multi-gig port, so if you need 2.5 gigabits per second on multiple devices, this router won't be a good fit. Still, for most people, there's plenty of speed on tap for both wired and wireless devices.
And number 1.
ASUS RT-AX88U Pro. The ASUS RT-AX88U Pro is a very well-balanced Wi-Fi 6 router with more than ample wireless capacity for a family and features that help keep you in control of your network. At its core, this router has a dual-band AX6000 Wi-Fi 6 connection, two 2.5 gigabits per second Ethernet ports, and a CPU that's powerful enough to manage it all. Your first instinct as a gamer may have been to look at ASUS's gaming-focused brand, ROG, for a router, but you would be mainly paying more for RGB lighting and an aggressive design. If that's what you want, the ROG Rapture GT-AX6000 is an excellent router with nearly identical specs, but if you want something a little more grown-up, the AX88U Pro is the way to go. On the back of the router, you'll find a USB 3.0 port that can be used for storage or USB tethering, two 2.5 gigabits per second Ethernet ports for WAN or LAN, and 4 gigabit Ethernet ports. Flanking the router, 4 adjustable antennas deliver your wireless signal. On the bottom, there are mounting points, so you can hang your router on the wall to free up some space. Passive ventilation is sufficient to keep this router cool, even with a heavy load, thanks to openings on all sides.
Check out this video description for latest price and more informations. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and stay tuned.